Everyone's talking about Base44 right now. You've probably seen people saying things like build apps with AI and turn your ideas into money in a weekend. But honestly, I get why people are excited. A few years ago, building an app meant learning how to code, hiring developers, or dealing with hosting, databases, APIs, all of that. Now, tools like Base44 let you describe an idea in plain English and generate an actual working app. That part is real. The way people talk about it online is completely disconnected from reality. Most videos make it sound like the hard part was building the app. It's not. Building the app is actually becoming the easy part. The hard part is building something people actually want and are willing to pay for. That's what we're here for, right? And that's the difference most people do not understand. Base44 is not a money printer. It's a tool. Very powerful one, but still, just a tool. And if you approach it in the wrong way, you'll spend weeks building random apps nobody uses. That's exactly what's happening right now. Thousands of people are generating AI SaaS ideas every day, but most of them never get traction because they focus on the technology instead of the problem. So, in this video, I want to break this down properly. How people are actually making money with tools like Base44, what realistically work, what doesn't, and how I would approach this if I wanted to build something real. First, let's quickly talk about what Base44 actually is. It's basically an app builder. You describe what you want in normal language, and it builds large parts of the app for you. It handles things like the front end, back end. This is the thing that I've made with, let me just show you the prompt. So this is an onboarding portal that guides new employees through key company policies, values. And what I love about this, you have this option here and you can make the variations. I mean, Base44 does it automatically for desktop, for tablet, for mobile. And of course, it focuses on back end as well. Authentication, hosting, integrations, and a lot of technical setup automatically. So instead of spending months building a basic product, you can have something functional much faster. That's why these tools are becoming popular. They reduce development time massively. Even complete beginners can now build things that previously required a developer or an agency. But here's the first thing you need to understand. Faster building does not automatically mean easier money. In fact, because building apps is getting easier, competition is increasing fast. Everyone can now create software ideas quickly. That means the value is shifting away from being able to build and toward knowing what to build. That's where the real opportunity is. The people making money with Base44 are not randomly generating apps and hoping something works. They usually start with a very specific problem. Something annoying, something repetitive, or expensive, or time-consuming. Then they build a simple tool that solves that problem faster or cheaper. A really good example is internal business tools. Small businesses constantly pay for software they barely use. A company might spend hundreds of dollars every month on some complicated SaaS platform when they only need one or two features. Tools like Base44 make it possible to build simpler, custom alternatives very quickly. There was actually an example recently of someone replacing an expensive marketing tool subscription with a custom app they built with Base44. You can find it online. That's a realistic use case because businesses care about saving time and money. They do not care whether the app was AI generated or vibe coded. They care whether it solves their problem. And that's the mindset you need if you want to make money with this. Now, most beginners immediately think about building the next billion-dollar startup. That's usually the wrong move. You don't need some revolutionary idea. In fact, smaller, boring problems are often easier to monetize because businesses already understand the value immediately. For example, imagine building a simple CRM for real estate agents, or a dashboard for tracking leads, a booking tool for coaches. There's a lot of coaches nowadays. Or a content planning system for agencies. None of these ideas are exciting, but that's exactly why they work. They solve practical problems people already have. And you see these people on Fiverr, They just put, I will Base44, I will be your Base44 expert, I will do this Base44, whatever. Companies, some of them, they don't even know what Base44 is. They want to solve a specific problem. So the keywords these people are using, they're wrong. They want something solvable. They want a problem, and they want to put that in the keyword, in their gig name. So remember that. And here's another important thing. You don't need millions of users. This is where people get stuck because they think like social media creators instead of business owners. If you build a small tool that saves a business hours every week, they might happily pay you $50, $100, or even several $100s per month for it. Now, compare that to trying to build some viral consumer app where you need massive scale to make money. One path is much more realistic than the other one. Another thing people are doing with Base44 is building micro SaaS products, basically small software tools that do one thing well. This model works because people don't always want huge, complicated platforms. Sometimes they just want one simple tool that solves one annoying issue. For example, generating invoices. Well, that sounds boring, right? On top of it, there's summarizing meetings, there's organizing customer feedback, automating reports, creating social media content calendars, simple things. And this is actually where AI app builders become very powerful because speed matters. You can validate ideas quickly, and instead of spending 6 months building something nobody wants, you can launch a working versions in days. You can get feedback, and you can improve it. That's probably the biggest advantage of tools like Base44. Not easy money, just speed of testing. You can send this to your customer right away, and they can send the feedback right away. Now, let's talk about the biggest mistake people make with AI app builders. They build before validating demand. They get excited about the technology and spend days creating features nobody asked for. Then they launch and realize nobody cares. A much smarter approach is the opposite. Just start with the audience or the problem first. Go where people already complain. Reddit, Facebook groups, Discord communities, Twitter replies. Look for some repetitive frustrations. When you see the same problem mentioned over and over again, that's usually where opportunities exist. And then you build the simplest possible version of the solution. And this is important. Simple is better. A lot of people using AI tools overcomplicate things. They think more features automatically make the product better. Usually, it just makes it messier. Most successful software products solve one core problem really well. Now let's talk about monetization, because this is another area where people become unrealistic. The easiest model is subscriptions. Even a small monthly subscription can become meaningful if your product solves a real problem consistently. But getting people to pay is harder than generating the app itself. That's where marketing comes in, and this is the part most AI videos completely ignore. You still need traffic, you still need positioning, you still need messaging, and of course, distribution. Nobody magically discovers your app just because you built it. This is why content is becoming so important. A lot of successful founders now build audiences while building products. They post on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, or YouTube while showing the process. Not only does this bring attention, but it also helps validate whether people are actually interested in it. And honestly, this is probably one of the smartest way to approach Base44 right now. Don't build silently for 6 months. Build publicly. Show examples. Show before and after results. Show how your tool saves time or money. You can make a YouTube channel just for one product, because attention matters almost as much as the product itself now. Another thing I want to mention is that AI-generated apps are not magically perfect. You still need to test things, debug things, improve workflows. Even though Base44 makes app creation easier, it does not completely remove technical problems. Sometimes features break. Sometimes integrations don't work properly. Sometimes you need to refine prompts multiple times before getting good results. So if someone online tells you you don't need any effort anymore, they're lying. The effort just moved. Less effort goes into coding. More effort goes into thinking, testing, improving, and understanding users. That's actually why a lot of businesses using AI app builders still fail. They think technology replaces strategy. It doesn't. Now, realistically, how long does this take? If you're serious, your first few weeks will probably just be learning the platform and experimenting. Then you'll likely build a few bad ideas before finding something people actually respond to, and that's normal. Most successful products come after multiple attempts. Over time, if you find something useful, you can slowly build recurring income. Maybe your first goal is one paying customer, then 5, and then 10. That's already a meaningful process. Because unlike side hustles where you constantly trade time for money, software can scale. One product can serve multiple users at the same time. And that's why SaaS businesses are attractive in the first place. But again, none of this is instant. So if you want the honest answer on making money with Base44, here it is. Yes, there is a real opportunity here. Probably more opportunity than most people realize. But the opportunity is not in AI apps. The opportunity is in solving problems faster than before. Base44 just lowers the barrier to building solutions. It doesn't remove the need for good ideas, for patience or execution. And that's the part most people don't want to hear. So, are you ready for it? Go and solve people's problems. See what they are first. Wish you good luck.